So we've now got the floor plan up to the stage, as you can see on the screen here. We're going to start now putting on some dimensions. I've given you dimensions before, but we haven't really gone through how to set these up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our Annotate tab here. I'm going to set up a dimension style. And in this case, you'll see here that I've already got some dimensions, but I'll set up some from scratch. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a text style, first of all, to slot into those dimensions. So I'm going to go to this little diagonal arrow here, or what you could do is you could type in style, which you can see on that little pop-up there. Type in the word style, or you can go to this little diagonal arrow. So clicking on that, I'm going to set up a new text style. Don't put any of these little symbols on. Just do it the way I'm going to do it just now. So type in new, and then we're going to make this one text 125. Okay, so that's a fairly good size for text to be able to see against this particular model here. Click OK, and then make this height here 125. And before you go any further, we're going to change some of the font style here. So I want you to click on the font name, go down to where it says Simplex, and you'll see it around about here, Simplex SHX or .shx. Click on that. And it looks pretty boring at the moment, but you can do a few things with this to make it a bit more interesting. And also you want to try and bring in the width factor a little bit. So put in 0.8 into the width factor, and then maybe change the angle slightly. So let's make it an oblique angle of 10, and then you'll see it changing here, and then click apply. Then we can click close. And now you'll see there it's created a text of 125 up here. And now we're going to make a dimension style to match this. Okay, so if you go to the little diagonal arrow here, or you can type in dim style, it's up to you, and then click on new, and then just call this dim 125. Continue, and then go to where it says text here on this tab, and then select the text style that you just created. So you've got to go to the arrow, then select text 125, and you'll see that it selects the one that you've just created. Okay, so that's your digits are going to look the same as your ordinary letters. Then go to symbols and arrows. Now we can make the arrow size 125, or we could make it slightly smaller. So I'm going to make it 110, but you'll still be able to see this arrow fairly clearly. Then go to primary units, and we'll set the precision, if it doesn't already show, set the precision to 0. Okay, in fact, let's go for 0.0 because our plasterboard might be slightly out, slightly more tolerance than that required. So, and then click OK, and click close. Now we're going to apply this particular dimension style. So click on linear, and then what we're going to do is we're going to click on the corner here. So it's going to be one click, release your button, click again on this, release your button, and then move your mouse up and then land it with another click. So it's 3 clicks basically. So we'll do that again, linear, click on the corner here, so click, move your mouse over, click again, and then push your mouse up. Okay, so again, click and release, move your mouse over, click and release, and then push your mouse up. Now what you can do is you can, instead of keep going up to instead of having to come up here to the linear function, you can press enter and it'll bring back the previous command. Just a little hint to remember. So click and release, move your mouse over, click and release, and move your mouse up. Enter, click and release, move the mouse up. Enter, click and release. And let me see, we're going to measure it from here. Click and release, move your mouse up. Enter, click and release, and move the mouse up. Now, there's a little bit of an overlap here, which I'm not too happy about, so I'm going to just delete that. Let's just make sure that's exactly on the nose there, and then we'll do that again. So, got to zoom right in, click and release, and then move your mouse up. So that's perfect. Okay. So we're going to do that all the way around, and then we're going to look at the stairs. Okay, because the stairs will require a little bit of extra attention. So just move all the way around like I'm doing here. In fact, there it's showing that 0.5 millimeter out, so I don't think that matters too much at this point in time. Okay, what you can do as well is you can do an overall dimension like that. Okay, you can always come back to this. So I'm just going to finish off a couple here. And we could probably just move that over here, just to get it out of the way. Again, a bit of an overlap there. You can move the text over slightly. So if we go in here, click on the 250 and just get that middle grip and move it across. Okay. Now, I said we would take care of the stairs here, so just to give you an idea of what these dimensions are. This one's 75. Okay, remember that our spine here is 95. In fact, it's 97. It should be 97. I need to go and change that again. So there's obviously a mistake here. You can see it just there. So we're going to just change that again. I'm going to offset this particular line again. Okay. Yep, so that's the problem, is that we've got this door frame slightly out, but that's because it's 95 rather than 97. Okay. Right, so let's go in and finish off these stairs in our annotate tab again. So this is 75, this is 75. This will be also 75. All of these internal walls here will be 75, apart from these two walls here that go down like that. Just delete that. And there we go. Okay, so now we've got to put our stairs in here, and I'm just going to refer to the drawing that we did previously. We need this to be 1087, and the reason for that is because when you look at the side view, you will see that we need to have a certain dimension here, okay, because we've got some kind of ceiling, if you like, just at this point here. This is a soffit, basically the underside of this. So we need to provide some kind of dimension here, which is in excess of 900, because if you think about it, the line that I just showed you of that soffit comes out to here. So 1087, we'll work with that, and let's make a layer for our stairs, and we'll just go into our home tab, and we're just going to check to see if we've got any layers set up. Okay, so there's a layer there that I set up before called stair. I've made that bright yellow, really just for the purposes of this video. So I'm going to click on that particular layer. You could go in here into layer properties and set up your stair layer here. Make it a continuous layer, this one here. Make it around about 61. It's not particularly important. The most important thing is you're working with layers. And then we'll start off by doing a line, excuse me, doing a line roughly between here and here. Okay. What we're going to do is now is we're going to move that by 1087 to that point, and I'm just going to bring out this newel post, which you have in your own home if you've got a stair, and stretch it slightly. Now I'm just going to show you again how to do a stretch command. If you go to stretch here, click on that, get your little white square. Now you must start from a point over here to the top right, not to the top left. You've got to have it to the top right. Try to avoid this here because you don't want to stretch that. So we're going to try and place it around about here. And then when you're zooming out again, you see that you've missed the yellow line. And we're going to stretch it around about here, click again, and then enter to confirm that selection. And we're going to bring our wall probably to about here. Okay. Now, again, this is not particularly important for the purposes of this video. In reality, you would make sure that you've got an actual dimension on that. Okay. The most important thing is we're going to put in a stair post in here. But getting back to this particular stair that we've got now, we're going to offset that by 225. Okay, 225 is something that's going to be fairly good to get the stair pitch that we're looking for. And you'll have done some calculations with Chris Wood's class about how to set up a stair pitch. So go to offset and then type in a value of 225 and then enter. And then we're going to offset it like so. Just keep clicking, click, click. We'll do that again. Click on the line, click to the left of the line. Click on the line, click to the left of the line. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines there. In fact, we only need 4, so we'll just take out the last one. So we only need 4, so you get 4 lines there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So in other words, we're stepping up from here, which is going to be our ground floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's what we want to do here. 1, 2, 3. Just try that again. Sorry, I beg your pardon. We had another stair there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then the next stair, we'll just make that in line with the other stair. Now, this doesn't always happen. We're just going to line that up on the other side. So let's just copy those. So we're just going to pick our copy command and then do a right to left selection like that. Click and then enter to confirm the selection. We're going to use our base point from here and we're going to move it up to here. Now you'll notice here that one stair is actually wider than the other. And the reason for that is because here we need a handrail that's going on the inside, and then the other handrail is actually going up the center line of that wall because it's not a full height wall. You need a dimension of 900 between the edge of the handrail and this finish here. Now this is important. Okay, the structural size is obviously important, 975, but this particular clear width here needs to be 900. Okay, so what you're going to need now is a cutoff line, because we know that these stairs are continuing up. You go up to their half landing, you turn around, and then you'll see the stairs kind of disappearing above your eye plane. So we're going to create a very simple cutoff line. Before we do that, I'm just going to trim these lines just like that. Okay, with a simple right to left green box. And then now we're going to create a little cutoff line. So I'm just going to go into see what the layers we've got here. I'm going to put this under maybe section lines. And I'm going to just simply draw a line from here. Knock your ortho setting off to about here. And then I'm just going to try and make it like a diagonal, almost like a Z shape in reverse, and finish it off about there. Okay. Now this you'll see this symbol in a lot of cases. I'm just going to copy it over just to give you an idea of what we're playing with. Then again, copy. Okay, and we're going to make this into a block. So again, BLOCK for block, enter. And we're just going to call it cutoff line. Okay, there's a number of things you could call it, but I'll do this for now. Click on pick point. I'm going to make the pick point, say here. And then what you've got to do now, once you've seen the coordinates appearing, you click on select, and we're going to select that entire piece of geometry. Enter to confirm the selection, and then you'll see the little block definition up here. Make sure that this is unticked. You don't want to edit it. Only if you want to edit it, would you click in here, then click OK, and you can save that. Then obviously it's saved in your library. Okay. So if you wanted to, you could, in fact, take this out and you could insert that block that you've just done. So insert in the command line, and then you'll see the little block here. Click on that, and you could place it anywhere you want here, roughly. Okay. So we're going to show this line now. Let's move it over slightly. Let's move it over to here. And let's show that these two lines we want to show dotted. Okay. They'll be continuous up to here, but then once you get to here, it's shown dotted. So let's just bring this down to this point. And let's bring this one down to this point. And I want to make that an intersection, so I'm just going to go back to my object snaps and click on intersection. So it's going to intersect there, and that should be an intersection. Intersection about here. Okay, now we don't want to fudge this, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that. I'm just going to take that up again, and then we're going to bring it down and make sure it intersects properly there. Okay, so now we want to draw another 2 lines from here to here and from here to here, and we're going to make those dotted. I'm just going to knock this off just now, and I'll click on line, and from here up to here, enter, and from here up to here. Now select those 2 lines. You could either select them individually, or you can do it with a green box. I prefer to do a small green box just for speed. And then once you've done that, you can go to your properties box here, your properties panel, and it'll change the line type for you from continuous to dashed. So if you click on this little drop down arrow, you can insert a dashed line, or make those dashed, I should say. And if they're a bit too close together, you can change the properties again by just doing a quick selection like that. Then right click, go down to properties, and the properties box will come up over here. Now we want to change the line type scale because we want to make these dashed lines a little bit more spaced apart. And the way to do that is just go to this little box here, make that say 10, and then enter. And you'll see that the line density will change like that. Okay. Now there's a couple of ways of getting that box up again. Like you know, one way is to do a right click, or you can do what we've got here. We can go into this little launcher here, or we could even type the word properties. But I'm going to click on this little launcher here, and again, that can come up. You could keep that there for a while if you wanted to. You could just kind of park it here, or you can just close it, and you could even type in properties, and that would still come up again like that. Okay, so it's quite a handy way to get into your properties to change your different properties of lines, change the color, change the density of the line type, and so on. So that's us. We've made a dashed line here. Okay. Now, just to give you an idea of what this dimension is, it's not particularly important for the purposes of this video, but I'm just going to go back onto my annotate tab here. I'm going to click linear, and I'm just going to give you a rough dimension here, which is 907.5. Now that's fine because that needs to be, that clear root there needs to be 900. As long as you've got 900, that should give you a clear circulation. Okay, so go back to the going back to this particular image. There's lots of other things we could put on here. We could put on an arrow. So I'm just going to do that right now. Again, just make sure that you're just using common layers, section lines. So I'm going to put this under my section lines layer again. You could put it under maybe you could put it under a different layer for symbols. You know, you could have a symbols layer, for example. In fact, you know, you could have as many different layers as you wanted. I'm just going to use the section lines layer, and I'm just going to make a very simple U-shaped line here. Knock my ortho off, or on I should say, and then bring my line up to there. Okay, so try and make it spaced apart from here to here, that distance the same as from here to here. Now we're going to go into polyline, and we're going to create, again, it's a case of going back down and knocking your ortho off. I'm going to make a polyline, something like that, and then don't make it too acute. Then we're going to mirror that or flip it to the other side. So we're going to go up to our mirror command, select that line, you'll see it selected, press enter to confirm the selection, and then we're going to flip it over to this side. So again, just make sure your ortho is back off again, because you want to get that exactly flipped over to the other side. And now I'll just do that again. Mirror, enter. There's your axis there. And then in this case, you want to press no, because you want to keep the original line. Now, I can make this a little bit thicker by selecting those two polylines, right click, go to properties, and then I can change the line type scale, or the global width of that, I should say. The global width is what you want to change. So select that and make that, make it about 20, and then enter. And you'll see when I change that global width to 20, it'll change the thickness of that polyline. Now you can only do that with a polyline. You cannot do that with a simple line. It has to be a polyline. Okay, you've got a polyline there, you've got a line there. So just remember that. Okay, and again, we can make that into a block again if we wanted. So BLOCK, enter. Let's just call this stair turn symbol, or something to that effect. Stair turning symbol. Pick point. I'm going to make the pick point probably about here. Then select it. Now, you want to make sure that you only select this particular symbol here. So maybe the best way is to just do little bits at a time. There, 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 until they're all highlighted in blue, and then hit enter. Then you'll see that little symbol appearing here in the block definition, and then click OK. Okay, so it's not a block at the minute. You don't have to erase it, but I'm just going to show you how this would work. So again, type in insert, click on your stair turning symbol, and then just bring it into place about there. Okay, now if you hover over that, you'll see that it's given it a block reference. Try and make as many blocks as you can. Okay, the last thing we'll do just for this particular session is put in we'll put an indication of our handrail here, and we'll put in our stair posts. Okay, and then we'll put in a little bit of text, and then we'll finish off there. So let's put in our stair handrail. Now, I don't have a particular layer for this. I could use the stair one. I'm just going to go and put in a new layer for this. So click on layer properties, click on a new layer up here, and let's just call it handrail. Color, let's just make that cyan. Click OK. Make it continuous, and that's all you need to do for that. Make it your current layer. So you've got to go up to here, says set current, click on that, and then it makes your handrail the current layer. Click this close. And now we're going to create just a very simple handrail. We want to show it about 50 millimeters off this wall. So I'm just going to draw a line from here because the handrail will extend beyond the bottom stair slightly up to here, and you'll see I've made that overlap the wall. I'm just going to get the middle grip and push it out the way by 50. And then I'm going to offset that by 50. Okay, so you get two parallel lines here, and then I'll probably create an arc. Or what you can do, a little you can do it two ways. You can create a little arc. Just knock the ortho off first of all. You can do it like that. Or what you can do is you can do a fillet command. Now a fillet command will make an arc between these two parallel lines. Click, click, and you get an arc there. Now they have to be parallel in that case to make that work. On the other side, you could make that come all the way around like a U-shaped handrail, but in this case, what I'll do is I'll just create another fillet. Okay, and that'll be fixed to the wall. Okay, now 50 millimeters away from there is probably too much because you can actually get away with less. So I'm just going to move that maybe about 10 millimeters up towards the, I'm just going to knock my ortho off again, on again, sorry. And then I'm going to push it up by about 10 millimeters. Okay. Now I'm going to make some text for this because I want to make it slightly smaller. I'm going to go back to my annotate command, and I'm going to create a smaller text this time. So in here, into your text style, create a new text style, and let's make this say 40. Text 40. Click OK. Make the height 40. You could make the width factor the same, but let's make that oblique angle say about 5. Click apply, click close, and now we're going to just we're going to apply this text to our thread numbers. Okay, so we want to make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on. So click on multi-text, multi-line text, but we're going to use single line. Click on single line. Let's go down to this point, and we're going to click on here, and we're going to make sure that our ortho is set to on, our ortho is activated. Click again, and then just type 1, and then 2 enters, enter, and enter. Okay, go back to your home tab, click on copy, select that, enter, and again make sure your ortho is activated, and we're just going to keep clicking across like this. Okay, and then knock your ortho off so that you can move it up this way, and then click on the left side of this yellow line. Try and get these lined up. Okay. And then what you can do is you can double click on each one of these, and that will edit the actual number. So double click 4, enter, and enter. Double click, 5, enter, enter. Just going up, double click again, 6, enter, enter. Double click again, 7, enter, enter. Double click again, 8, enter, enter. Okay, probably don't need this one. Okay, so you're now starting to see something that looks more like a stair, gives the reader of this drawing an idea of where it is, and we'll trim this handrail because you don't see these lines underneath. So we'll just go to trim, enter, and then just swipe across there, the green box, and then escape. You could create another handrail here. Now this handrail probably goes up the center line of this particular wall, because like I said, this is not a full height wall. This actually goes along the top of this wall. So this is not it's not full height. It's kind of, you can actually put your hand on the top of the wall as it slopes up. So it's a sloping wall. Okay, we're just going to stretch that in a little bit. Knock your ortho on and just put it something like that. I think probably in reality, we probably would connect these two together to form a U shape. We'll leave that up to the joiner on site, but this would still pass the building regulations. Okay, and I would say that we would probably be able to make that section line actually come over to this point here. But for now, we'll leave it as it is. Okay, so we're going to finish off there, and in the next session, we are going to look at putting on maybe some more dimensions, and then we'll create some finish to our plasterboard or to our internal walls. We'll show the plasterboard thickness, 12.5 millimeters. We'll show things like light switches, sockets, radiator positions, and so on. Okay, so it's basically using the same commands just in slightly different ways, and you will be able to build up a repertoire of different skills, but nothing too sophisticated. Okay, so let's just finish off there, and I will see you in the next recording.